All right. So, if you look around you today, at the people here, at the people in this park, on the streets around, throughout this city, and throughout this country, throughout the world, the way people are treated, the way people are hounded, beaten down, their hopes and dreams dashed, and so much potential squandered. Have you ever thought about a radically different world? What it would look like? Well, this is what it looks like when you step into the revolution and represent something truly emancipating. These are the points of attention for the Revolution Club. The Revolution Club upholds, lives by, and fights for the following principles with some contrast to the way that people are living today. The interest of me and mine, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. How much do you get paid to do this? Nothing. Well, what do you get out of this? My payment is seeing this system lifted off the backs of the people of the world. We've got to get beyond all this look out for self, me and mine's BS, and in doing that, we base ourselves on and strive to represent the highest interest of humanity, revolution and communism. And we do not tolerate using the revolution for personal gain. Point of attention number one.
With the direction things are going now, and a sharp split in the directions things are going politically surrounding the humanity and freedom of women, it has two radically different paths it could go. The degradation and dehumanization of women is a vital part of this capitalist imperialist system. There's a radically reactionary force in society that is concentrated in the Christian fascists that want to take away the right of abortion, slam women backwards, and attack LGBTQ people. On the other hand, the Revolution Club represents something radically liberating. We want to raise the masses' sights to all of this, who don't see any way out, especially women and all other victims of patriarchy. We must fight for this future. Our second point of attention is, we fight for a world where all chains are broken. Women, men, differently gendered people are equals and comrades. We do not tolerate physically or verbally abusing women or treating them as sexual objects. Nor do we tolerate insults or jokes about people's gender or sexual orientation. That is why we are fighting for, and that is why the masses need to take up for this for the sake of women and all of humanity.
Vivimos en una distopia capitalista imperialista donde el pueblo trabajador es explotado mientras los sanguijuelas de la sociedad se enriquecen con nuestro trabajo. Vivimos en un país que se fundió sobre el genocidio y el robo de tierras y se construyó a través del trabajo de personas esclavizadas. Vivimos en un mundo injusto y dividido donde se utilizan líneas imaginarias para justificar la deshumanización de las personas en todo el mundo. Mientras estamos aquí hoy en desafío, miles de inmigrantes de todas las edades, que de hecho son humanos como usted y como yo, están encerrados en jaulas y son abusados por el Estado sin remordimiento. Esta cruel realidad es una manifestación grotesca de lo que este sistema capitalista imperialista está diseñado para hacer. La violencia y el sufrimiento que este sistema impone a las masas de la humanidad debe llegar a un fin. La mejor y única forma de lograr la verdadera liberación es a través de una revolución de la gente para derrocar y desmantelar estos sistemas volátiles que mantienen encadenada a la humanidad. El punto de atención número 3 del Club Revolución Luchamos por un mundo sin fronteras y por la igualdad entre los diferentes pueblos, culturas y lenguas. No toleramos insultos o bromas o nombres despectivos sobre la raza, nacionalidad o idioma de una persona.
In the world we live in, the most oppressed people are super exploited, so viciously dehumanized, and then told it's their fault they're suffering, all while the rest of the world parasitically reaps the benefits of their blood and their labor. In the world we live in, leadership is based on money, power, nepotism, charisma, and false promises of reform, and is so rarely based on anything approaching a scientific evaluation of the political landscape, let alone something like a love of the people and the emancipation of all humanity. In the world we live in, the ruling classes actively work against people from all backgrounds coming together so that they can keep us all fighting each other while they keep their power and the system intact. In the world we live in, revenge is to be expected. If we're all fighting to be on top, where does it end? Like with Israel and Palestine, with oppressed people becoming monstrous genocidal oppressors, with us all tearing each other apart and the system intact. In order to bring into being a communist world, in stark contrast is point of attention number 4. We stand with the most oppressed and never lose sight of their potential to emancipate humanity, nor of our responsibility to lead them to do that. We work to win people of all backgrounds to take part in the revolution and do not tolerate revenge among the people.
So all week long, some of us who came down to get to organize and be with the tour have had the tremendous opportunity to go out with the masses, to the masses. We've gotten to go to high schools in South Central, to universities, out to Silver Lake and Japantown. I mean, people have been all over. And in the process of that, we've encountered, and we encounter in general, a whole range of thoughts and ideas, right? We encounter people who are religious and think that nuclear war is just part of the end of times and it's written in the Bible. We encounter people who got their head in the sand and just think that this isn't really happening and the Democrats will do something about it. We encounter people who, who think that, the only people who have the right to speak are based on whatever their identity is. That if you're not black or queer or trans or whatever that identity is that people believe in, then you have no right to speak, right? We encounter people who are just really into self and aren't really looking around to see the world as it really is. In contrast to all that, we have the Revolution Club and the points of attention. Point of attention number 5. We search for and fight for the truth no matter how unpopular, even as we listen and learn from the observations, insights, and criticisms of others. We have a tremendous truth that comes from the analysis and the revolutionary work of the leader of this revolution, Baba Vakian, who is sometimes daily fighting to bring us analysis of what's happening in the world and how we can fight through to understand it. And even further, the Revolution Club challenges all of us to become scientists ourselves, a team of scientists. And we saw that in the streets this week, where we come together and we learn from the actions we took and we learn what we can do better, how we can apply the science more, how we can bust through and really realize this possibility that exists. We're out here fighting for revolution not because it's a good idea, but because it's scientifically possible. And we know that because of the work of the leader of this revolution, Baba Vakian, and New Synthesis. Thank you.
Hi. So mine is point of attention number 6, and it's working with a few contradictions, and I'll speak to one, which is people fighting and killing each other. You know how this system pins people against each other, blacks against blacks, against Asians, against whites, etc. It only serves the system. But what we need to be doing instead is uniting, defending each other, not allowing these pigs and these fascist thugs brutalizing and murdering our people. So point of attention number 6 says, we are going for an actual overthrow of this system and a whole better way beyond the destructive, vicious conflicts of today between the people. Because we are serious, at this stage, we do not initiate violence, and we oppose all violence against the people and among the people.